Hey guys, and welcome into our weekly high school football roundup. Key takeaways from last week: Baylor goes 10-0 for the first time in 46 years. They are looking like they are for sure on a mission to get back to the Blue Cross Bowl again this year. That would be the third straight year they've made it. They won it 2 years ago, finished runner-up last year, and they are the prohibitive favorites right now. They would host throughout the playoffs. They've got the first round, a bye in the first round, and then would host the next two rounds to get there. Also, McCallie, they would have to travel in the semifinals. They have a first round bye as well, would host, and then would travel after that. Last week, running back Keelan Siam with 5 touchdowns to kind of make sure McCallie ended the regular season in the right way. Those two teams opposite brackets, just like last year. McCallie would eventually probably have to go through an undefeated Innsworth, which is ranked number 2 in the semifinals. So that's the big stumbling block there to prevent possibly a Baylor versus McCallie round 2 in a state championship game. But otherwise, it looks like those two are on a collision course there. Also, last week, South Pittsburgh with kind of an authoritative statement. It was two teams that are ranked in the state. They went to Whitwell with the Region 3-1A championship on the line, and South Pitt runs out to I think it was 42-0 early in the second half. Wound up being 49-7. So the Pirates, last year's 1A state champions, very young. Looked like they had a long way to go at the start of the season, but those guys have been coached up now. They're no longer freshmen and sophomores now. They've got 10 games under the belt, and they are playing really well. They could be another team to watch make a deep run in the playoffs.
After that first drive on defense and that first drive on offense, when we go and went up and put up on the board, I could definitely tell we were a lot more physical than them. And when we shut them out again and then went and scored again, I could tell it was going to be a great game for us.
A very dangerous team in our area right now would be Tyner. They finished with a big win last week over Meigs County. That helped them. They had a share of the region championship in 3A, Region 3-3A, but because of the tiebreaker system, they wound up being third, so they'll travel in the first round, go to Giles County. But I really like Tyner being kind of an underdog there, winning that game, working their way back, and I don't think anybody wants to play Tyner right now because they're playing extremely well. Silverdale Baptist last week, very impressive, down 16-7 at the half, comes back to win. They're a very dangerous team. They're in opposite sides of their bracket in Division II AA from Boyd Buchanan, which is ranked number 2, and Christ Presbyterian, which is ranked number 1, and it seems like they win it every year. So Silverdale is in a more favorable bracket even than Boyd Buchanan, which just finished their second straight 10-0 season. It's easy for me to say. Second straight 10-0 season last week, but they are now in the same bracket with top-ranked CPA. So those two teams would face off in the semifinals. So a lot of interesting kind of plot lines as the playoffs get started this weekend. We've got, I think, 24 local teams in Tennessee that will be playing in the playoffs this week. 11 of those host. So, everything gets really interesting now. All the storylines that we had in the regular season just kind of built up to this, because this is when it really gets a lot of fun for us to kind of watch and see who gets hot, who gets in that role. Soddy Daisy, 9 wins for the first time since 2004. Shout out to Josh Owensby and his staff. They've done a great job in turning that program around. Now they get to host first round. We'll see, how deep those guys can go. They're kind of built for November because they're not flashy, but they're very physical. So they could make a run definitely there. But otherwise, big news for us this week. Tomorrow on Thursday, we'll find out who the Mr. Football semifinalists are. The 5 semifinalists in all classifications get announced on Thursday around lunchtime, so we'll have that online. Look for that. Otherwise, we'll be at all these, as many playoff games as we can get to. We'll also round up all the others, so we'll have all that coverage for you guys online Friday night in Saturday's edition, and then Sunday we'll have our snap judgments, kind of looking back on the teams that advanced, what went right, the teams that didn't, what went wrong, and we'll do this all again next week with hopefully quite a few teams advancing from our area that we can keep talking about. So until then, we'll see you guys next week.